All right, so we're going to talk about another one of my favorite topics, which is water and how the water affects the body's health and its performance each day. Did you know that your body weight is approximately 60 to 70% water, or 2/3 of your body is containing water within it, which is the same amount that we have on the planet. The planet is 2/3 water. There's no coincidence there. I wanted to mention that. Your body uses water in all of its cells, organs, and tissues to help regulate its temperature and maintain other bodily function. Because your body loses water through breathing, sweating, and digestion, water does more than just quench your thirst and regulate your body's temperature. It also keeps the tissues in your body moist. You know how it feels when your eyes, nose, or mouth gets dry. Keeping your body hydrated helps it retain optimum levels of moisture in these sensitive areas, as well as in the blood, the bones, the brain, and other areas in the body. In addition, water helps protect the spinal cord, and it acts as a lubricant and cushion for your joints. So if you're experiencing problems with your joints, there's a possibility that being dehydrated or not drinking enough water on a daily basis could have contributed to this factor or any of your other health issues. Water also helps to remove the body's waste. Adequate water intake enables your body to excrete waste through perspiration, urination, and defecation. The kidneys and liver use it to help flush out waste, as do your intestines. This helps to keep your body's digestive system on a regular schedule and helps to remove the food that you've eaten through the intestinal tract. However, it should be noted there's no evidence to prove that increasing your fluid intake would clear up an issue in this area. And I won't go into the details of that. Water prevents you from becoming dehydrated. When your body loses fluids, when you engage in vigorous exercises or sports, sweat in high heat, or come down with a fever or contract an illness that causes vomiting or diarrhea, water will help to hydrate the body. If you're losing fluids for any of these reasons, it is important to increase your fluid intake so that you can restore your body's natural hydration levels. Your doctor may also recommend that you drink more fluids to help treat other health conditions like bladder infections or urinary tract infections or stones. If you're pregnant or nursing, you may want to consult your physician about your fluid intake because your body will be using more fluids than usual. So those of you that are pregnant out there or thinking about getting pregnant, just remember to talk to your doctor about how much fluid intake you should have. Usually we can tell if we need water by pinching the skin on top of the hand, and if it kind of stays up. So how much water do we need? There's no hard and fast rule, and many individuals meet their daily hydration needs by simply drinking water when they're thirsty, according to a report on nutrient recommendations from the Institute of Medicine and National Academics. In fact, most people who are in good physical health get enough fluids by drinking water and other beverages when they're thirsty, and also by drinking a beverage with each of their meals, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. If you're not sure about your hydration level, you can always tell by looking at your urine. If it's dark, you are definitely not getting enough water. You can see this because that's basically the filter of the body, and you can literally see the difference there. If it's clear, you're in good shape. If it's dark, you're probably dehydrated. So this is another way to tell if you're drinking enough water. Now, most doctors and health professionals will suggest that we drink 8 ounce glasses each day in order to be hydrated properly. And I believe that this is, definitely a good start. If you only drink 6 glasses that day, you can always kind of make up for it the next day. But these other things can really tell you, your body can communicate that to you and let you know, hey, I need more water. And this is one of the most important things that we can do is drink water. Or if you don't really like the taste of water, what a lot of people can do, and what I suggest for people, is that they go in and add fruit to their water to give it a flavor. And then it makes it more pleasant to drink, because I know some people personally that don't really like the taste of water, which, everyone has their thing, but you can put lemons in it, you can put oranges in there, strawberries, any type of fruit, even, I've seen people put cucumbers with lemon, and you can try all different things in your water. Okay, many of these people that call me on the phone, they will also experience frequent headaches. Again, that's something that happens pretty quickly. A lot of people, that is a trigger that you're dehydrated. And if you start getting a slight headache, what it means is, again, is that the brain is not getting enough oxygen. And so both the lack of oxygen and the increased blood pressure are in this kind of perfect recipe for frequent headaches. If you notice that you seem to be getting them more often, try drinking more water on a daily basis to ease the strain on the brain. This is another big one. So, our next one, number 7, mood swings or irritability. Just as in the characteristic of being hungry, some of us get crabby when we get hungry. I'm one of those people. If I'm hungry, I get crabby. And this can happen if we're dehydrated. So the need for water tends to make people unusually moody and more easily irritated. And so with all of the other possible negative effects on your brain and other organs in the body, chronic dehydration can throw your hormones off as well. And so you have this hormonal imbalance going on. And then if you continue that, it can cause depression, anxiety, and other mood disorders. Now this is connecting into mental health as well. Isn't this really interesting how all these things are connected? And see, that's why I always talk about energy and how everything in the body and the universe is connected. And so now we're starting to see how water, or the lack of water in the body, causes a problem with our energy flowing, and then that goes on to make other issues. And so everything's connected energetically, and there's different things here that we can look at and expand on from an energetic level. So it's like, again, it goes back to energy in the body. Kind of an amazing thing to me. This is why I get so excited about it when I talk about these areas. So, number 8, stomach pain or ulcers. Water acts as a buffer between the acidic contents of your stomach and the stomach lining. So, being in a state of constant dehydration can leave the inside of your stomach largely unprotected, and the constant acidic exposure can increase the possibility for ulcers or stomach aches or constant stomach aches. So it's, usually when that happens, you've got a bunch of acid in there. And we're going to talk about pH a little bit later, and the acidic side of things. So, and what foods affect that in our last lesson plan, which is number 6. The next area, 9. You know you're dehydrated if you have constipation or poor digestion. We kind of talked about this a little bit. In order to in order to properly process the foods you eat, your intestines need a steady supply of water to kind of flush everything out, right? So without adequate fluids, digestion can slow down, causing constipation. It can cause gas and bloating, or even the passing of seemingly undigested food. Number 10, cravings of sweet or salty foods. Who would have thought, right? For women, this is a big one because before their cycle, the body kind of holds on to fluids. And that is what causes these cravings to kind of come in as well. Your liver requires water in order to break down the fat cells and use the energy stored there to fuel your body and maintain a stable blood glucose level. When you get dehydrated and your liver can't perform this important function, you'll start to crave foods like sweets and salty foods, which your body recognizes as easy sources of energy. So that's how that works with the cravings. So if we're eating a balanced diet and we haven't, we're hydrated, we aren't going to have as many cravings. And this is something that I noticed as I changed my diet over the years, is that those cravings were minimized. I always kind of know by my cravings what my body needs. And if I'm craving things that are sweet or salty, that's not really a good sign. Many times if I crave anything, it's a certain color of vegetable, which is interesting to me because I never had that before I started this health regimen. So a lot of times there may be a nutrient that my body needs, and my body will literally say, oh, I want, something that's green, and I'll have those types of cravings versus the... Okay, so here's the big one with everyone. The inability to lose weight. Okay, so just based off of what I said, if we're dehydrated and not drinking enough water, this is going to zap our energy. It's going to impair our digestion. It's going to cause frequently for us unhealthy cravings of salts and sweets. The dehydration can also make it nearly impossible to lose weight then, right? So since your body can't break down the fat without adequate hydration, even if you force yourself to exercise, you probably won't be getting the results you want to in your workout. This was kind of an issue with me for a while. It's like I hit this plateau and I couldn't figure out why. I had to increase the water coming in order to start losing more weight. This happened when I had a knee injury a few years back, and I couldn't figure out, what was going on because I was literally working out 6 days a week. And I'm like, what is going on with me? So it was a combination of things. My diet, I changed that as well a little bit, but it was really, really the water. I was not drinking enough water during my exercise routines. And so this is an area for some of you, if you're struggling to lose weight, this could be an area that you need to look at. The next one, urinary tract infections. Women know all about this. I think we actually get those more often than men sometimes. But if we don't drink enough water or have a good supply of water, it's absolutely crucial for the proper function of our urinary tract. And the urinary tract is the part of the body that actually holds all of our intestines in. And when you get these, it's no fun because basically it causes a lot of issues. So when you become dehydrated, your kidneys and your bladder will try to stretch what little water it has in order for it to last as long as possible. So it'll pull it from everywhere in order for your body to function right. Unfortunately, without a semi-constant stream of fresh urine to flush them out, bacteria have more time to replicate and overpopulate inside the cozy, warm environment inside of your urethra and bladder. So this can cause some big issues. I mean, it's definitely not something that feels good if any of you have had one of those. The most obvious sign is that your kidneys and bladder are at risk of becoming the next big vacation hotspot, right? For unicellular organisms, which are those bacteria that can be found in the color of your urine. If your flow is constantly darker than a pale shade of yellow, you need to up your water intake as soon as possible so that you don't have this happen. Because when you get one of these urinary tract infections, you don't know what end to put in the toilet because you get so sick. And it causes a lot of pain, and it is not easy to get rid of. So this is definitely one of those things, if it's gone to that level, you've been dehydrated for a while if you get a urinary tract infection. Now, the other thing that can happen is a gout flare-up. Gout is caused by a buildup of uric acid, which crystallizes around the joints. Usually this is in the hands and the feet, excuse me, which causes an intense sharp pain. Because your kidneys need water to flush excess uric acid out of your body, dehydration is one of the biggest factors which contribute to the gout flare-ups. The next one is muscle cramps and joint pain. This is a big thing for people in sports. A lot of times when we're having those muscles and joint pains and the spasms in the muscles, the cramps, right, at nighttime, it's because we haven't drank enough water while playing sports. So water is our body's natural lubricant as well, and it's our cooling system, right? So without it, your muscles will overheat and then kind of seize up or pull, and your joints will start to grind, which makes those hurt as well. And then you basically start feeling those cramps, or you get those leg cramps at nighttime. It's again because of no water, and those do not feel good. I've experienced those enough in my life too. I wish at a younger age I would have had this knowledge as far as, how all this stuff works, and that somebody would have explained it to me, because then I would pay more attention to how much my water intake was when I was younger. Everybody's always telling you, drink water, drink water, drink water. And I was one that loved winter sports, so drinking fluids and water, when it was cold, it's like I didn't always drink enough water in the wintertime when I was doing winter sports. So make sure you keep your body in good working order with a constant supply of water and hydration during those times. The next thing is, and a lot of people experience this when they get older, is the itchy, dry skin, chapped lips, dandruff, again in the winter months too. You'll notice that your skin gets drier. You actually, because of the heat in the house, you'll want to kind of increase the water intake when it gets really cold. Animals, you'll see this, even more in them during the winter months. Your skin is in constant contact with the surrounding environment, right? When it's cold outside. So it loses water faster than the rest of your body. Okay, so when we're sweating, or it can go out through the body when it's really dry, because in the winter it's usually dry. So when you see itchy, dry skin, chapped lips. That'll be the first thing that shows up usually is the chapped lips before you even notice your skin's dry. Those are obvious warning signs that, you have what we call chronic dehydration. And that is what makes the skin dry, the lips chapped, and it can even cause dandruff in people. So, again, so important. The next thing with the skin is the eczema outbreaks. Eczema outbreaks can be triggered by a variety of different reasons, both environmental and internal. Excessively dry skin, such as that caused by constant dehydration, ranks at the top of the list for many people with this condition of eczema when they have an eczema outbreak. It's not the only reason for the eczema, though. Premature aging. So a lot of people ask me what my secret is. Obviously, we need to take care of our bodies. And how do we make our skin look good? It's by drinking plenty of water, but also, there's other factors in that as far as the nutrients and moisturizing the skin as well. Because what I noticed is during the winter months, if I have a little bit of dry skin and I don't put lotion on my skin in the wintertime, I get colder faster outside. So if my skin is moist and normal like it should be, then my body works right to heat it up when I'm outside. And because I grew up in a cold area, I grew up in the Chicago area where we have very, very cold winters, that I recognized at a young age, and also because of the sports I've done. So the aging process goes along with this. Okay, so without adequate hydration, our skin is going to lose its elasticity. When this happens, it is due to our blood flow not, circulating properly. And on a long term, lack of water also robs your skin cells of the nutrients they need. So if the skin isn't getting enough water, then the nutrients aren't getting there, and so they can't regenerate the way that they're supposed to, and then all of a sudden it starts to age that cell, and that goes back to my little mitochondrias, right? So if we're living in this constant state of dehydration, it will accelerate the aging process and the formation of wrinkles and fine lines and crow's feet. Sagging or loose skin are other signs of aging. And like I said, if you pinch the top of your hand, where the palm is above it, and you pinch that, you can tell if you're dehydrated. So if you look at your hands and, that skin stays up, you're dehydrated. And so that was another one of my tests always, to make sure, do I need any water? Because I could usually feel that. I get tired. That's one of my symptoms that happens with me. Each person is different. So when we're dehydrated, our body reacts a certain way, almost the same way every time when we get dehydrated. It's like there's certain things I look for and I'll know, I need to drink more water. I didn't have enough water. And the other thing that this can cause, we're on number 18 now, frequent respiratory problems from the inside of your nose down to the lower reaches of your bronchial tubes. Our entire respiratory tract relies on mucus to keep its tissues moist and supple and to prevent foreign particles out of your lungs. A lack of adequate hydration hinders the mucus production, thus hindering your respiratory system's ability to deflect allergens like dust, pollen, pet dander, or even defend itself against infection from viral and bacterial invaders. So, when people have asthma, that can be related to this, but also to, environmental things. There's other things we need to look at. Water and dehydration is one of the areas when we have issues with our respiratory system. So, there's a lot of research going on now on this particular area, which I find interesting. Now, number 19. Okay. Chronic bad breath, one of the most common symptoms of dehydration, manifests in the mouth. A lot of times you can get dry mouth from the result of a decrease in the saliva production, right? So this is due to dehydration. A lot of times if you smoke, you have a certain medical condition, or even medications can cause the mouth to be dry. Saliva is necessary as a component for regulating the population of microorganisms which live in the mouth. Again, bacteria is going to go in there, right? So dehydration and the consequential lack of saliva allows this yeast and bacteria to flourish unchecked around your teeth, gums, and tongue, which can quickly transform a healthy mouth into a miasma of chronic bad breath. This is, mainly a lot of times people have other issues first, like, if they're on medication, then they've already probably had issues with the dehydration, and that's can just add to that problem. But again, if that's an issue, it could be because the saliva isn't producing the way that it should in the body. And our last, number 20, in severe cases, foul body odor can happen. So, water facilitates the transport of waste materials out of the body, right? So, when you're consistently dehydrated, the waste materials don't necessarily make it out, but instead they're stored away in the cells for the future removal. So, if we don't have enough water running through the body, it's like your body's going to go, oh, well, I'll just save that till next time because I need this for reproduction of the cell and all these other areas. So, over time, all of that leftover junk in the body can change your body's chemistry for the worse. So, imagine it's like leaving a full bag of kitchen waste in the kitchen in the garbage can for too long. That is what your body's doing. So this can cause, another plethora of problems. And it can give you dry and damaged skin caused by the dehydration, which creates a perfect environment for odor-causing bacteria to kick back and relax and reproduce like microscopic rabbits. Okay, so that's an extreme level here that we're talking when this happens. So next we're going to talk about how we can change the structure of water with emotional energies or vibrations or frequencies and actually change the physical structure of water. And with us being made of 2/3 water, we can then see how that affects our bodies. The work of the late Dr. Masaru Emoto from Japan shows us that our thoughts change the structure of water. Dr. Emoto believed that water was a blueprint for our reality and that emotional energies and vibrations could change the physical structure of water. Dr. Emoto's water crystal experiments consisted of exposing water in glasses to different words, pictures, or musics, and then freezing and examining the aesthetic properties of the resulting crystals with microscopic photography. Dr. Emoto made the claim that water exposed to positive speech and thoughts would result in visually pleasing crystals or snowflakes being formed when that water was frozen, and that negative intentions would yield ugly frozen crystal. In the slide on the left-hand side, you can see where the ice crystal was exposed to the negative, and on the right-hand side, the positive. I've also included some other slides here where you can actually see the impact of, using self-love, beauty, passion, good job, rescue, happiness, those types of crystals that are formed from those different energies. And I wanted to also do some side-by-sides to show more negative here, like if you say thank you, it produces a certain type of crystal, but then if you put one in there that says you make me sick, it is very, very distorted, won't form properly at all. So you can see the differences here in the videos. Why this is so important to our health is because each part of our body contains a certain amount of water. Overall, we have the 2/3 water in the body, but the brain has 75% water. Our blood is 83% water. The heart, 79% water. And you can see the rest of this list here on the comparisons of how much water is in each area of the body. So think about when you're around a negative situation, negative people, negative vibrations, how this can actually, affect the molecular structure within the body. Eventually, it's going to cause health issues. And by looking at it at this type of a level, we can really have a better understanding as to why we need to be in positive places and not have that negative self-talk that we do, right? We talk in our head and say, oh, that was stupid of me or whatever. Or why did I make that mistake, and question ourselves, or, be down on ourselves. Even that energy can affect this. And then it multiplies if we have it coming from the outside, from, let's say we're at a job we really don't like and maybe the people there aren't so nice. That can have an effect on you and make everybody sick at that office or whatever, that's working at that company. So, there's all these different factors that come in, and when we make adjustments, then we can change the molecular structure in the body by being in more positive areas and positive vibrations. So these negative things coming in can give you a headache right away. Eventually cause other issues such as nerve damage. The ozone coming into the body can change matter inside of the body. There's all these different things, pesticides that come in, and it changes the structure of the cell, going back to that mitochondria. But these are negative things that we don't always see coming in that are affecting the body and the water structure of the body. Of course, when we look at pollution in the ocean right now, and if we were to go in that water, just seeing this picture is very negative, and we're having these issues all around the globe where our water is being polluted and contaminated. And it's so important for us to step up right now globally and say we need to stop this, because without water we can't survive. And it's really, really, really important that we step up to the plate and do something on an individual level, because as you know, if everybody steps up on an individual level, on a collective level, then we can make a huge difference. And so I wanted to point this out in this video about water and how important that is for our survival on this planet.
And I'm going to end this video here, and we're going to go into some other things. But this is just a real short lesson on how water affects our body and why, and why this makes a difference, for us to pay attention to it. And of course, we always want to make sure that we're drinking enough water each day. This is what helps our body to function. And it needs to be clean water, right? So we can talk positive into our water to bring in positive flows into the body.